suppose like, when I've thought about work, things like when you see, an elderly couple who come into CLO probably twice a day, Sheila and Jeff, and he's in hospital and Sheila can't go and see him, and you're like, oh crikey, it's those things that you see that really you find hard, because like we were saying just before, those chit chat conversations, they're fleeting for us, but for some people it's the main thing of the day, and if that's gone, really hard, really, really hard, and so stuff like that. My mum sort of suffers with ME a bit, and so she has to manage her physical stuff quite carefully. So she went into a couple of weeks before we properly went down, so I haven't hugged her for ages, and I'm actually finding that quite hard, the physical, because I'm quite a physical, tactile person, particularly being, I think you naturally are. I don't know if that's true or not, but I find it is, isn't it? When my dad used to have the greengrocers on Garforth Main Street, he always used to kind of go, there you go, love, and touch people on them. And everyone was like, Jeff, you're going to have to be careful, you can't be tapping people all the time. But so I haven't hugged mum, but I'll go round and we'll sit in the garden, 40 metres apart, and I'll take my own coffee. But it's not the same, is it? And it's, I read somewhere that physical touch is really important. So there's all these old people who are on their own, or anyone who's on their own and not getting any physical contact. That does, so I do sort of, I do think about that quite a lot when I'm musing in the garden.
And Barbara from The Good Life.
Yeah, well, more Charlie Dimmock, to be fair, but
Barbara on, woman, Barbara on.
Well, no, I do have one on today.
Well done.
This is going on for months. I'm gonna be tucking in these socks by the time, so I thought I better rein them in.
Right, it is. My mum was finding that as well, going back to sort of the older generation. She's on lockdown for 720 weeks, however long it is, and
it's hard.
Yeah, she lives in a flat, and she's like, there's one up, one down, and so she's got this little stand stair lift, and we call it the rocket fuel of food. So we just put it on the button and then watch it go up. She's like a little surprise when she gets to the top.
Phoenix Nights, the things I'm going to do to you. Remember? Probably not appropriate for this podcast, but anyway, Phoenix Nights.
Linda's like, no, not now, Vic, not now. Yeah, it is. It's thinking about that when you might be having a bit of a rubbish afternoon or a rubbish morning, or you're feeling a bit down, and then all of a sudden your mind goes to people living differently, and it does hit home a little bit. We've got a pensioner over the road, and I'm making sure he's all right. He's 91, and he's great, and he's all there, and he's fab, and he is used to being on his own, like you were saying before, Vic. I think he's been on his own for quite a bit, and he quite likes his own company. I like my own company. I actually like working at home on my own sometimes, because it is a bit of a recharging. So some old people are used to being on their own, but it's that, like you said, that physical contact. And I'm quite a tactile person. I'm really struggling with that disconnection. Yeah, I mean, you can hug your own kids and your husband, but after a while,
Morning. Milo's been, every time I get up in the morning or sometime in the day, the sofa's just behind the front room door, and he's been standing on the arm of it, going, "Rah!" as I walk into the room this morning. I could hear him on, his headset. So I just ran into the front room and went, "Ah!" like that. Poor little kid. I'm flying up in the air. Oh, you jackass. Got my own back.
Now you know what it's like.
But he cried. I went, oh, well done.
Yeah, well done. Show your emotions, cat.
I've had to give him a cuddle.
So, Linda, besides Vic there, turned into Barbara from The Good Life and making professional coffee. Yeah, people need to see that sort of Kopi Luwak coffee making on your CLO at home page.
I was thinking there's room for cats now, aren't there? So
I think so. Yeah, just collect it in the back of the yard. Cats, Kopi Luwak.
Yeah. No dogs allowed, but cats, yes.
Yeah, cats making coffee. No way.
The Kopi Luwak.
No, I'm thinking. It depends how you spell it as to if it's Is it spoonerism or something? Does it mean something? Is it spelled backwards?
Put in KOPI.
Right.
LWA.
I'll write it down. And it actually means something. Grab, I'm going to read it out.
No, it is actually.
It is actually a coffee.
It is a cat coffee.
Sadly, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that's the cat one.
Yeah, I know. It's Linda knew straight away. It's real.
I've been really overthinking it then. Really overthinking
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
It does sound like backwards, yeah.
Yeah, I've been going, what's she done? And she depicked it, she pulled it apart, she turned it around, and she spoonerized it. What does it really mean? Rather than just looking it up.
The meaning of it, the meaning.
I'll have to look. So, Linda, you've obviously had the whole family colouring hair, apart from Nick, which you still need to do.
I know, you won't do it, yeah.
And obviously using much better gadgets to make coffee. Even though it didn't work for the day, it did work in the end, but I was expecting like a Casper to turn into like a real boy at the end of it. That never happened.
I know, yeah.
You know what, though?
Still just coffee.
Isn't it?
It's what?
It did impress me because I was thinking, this is going to take an hour.
I know.
But it didn't, did it?
Yeah.
It was really quick.
It started going, yeah.
I like stuff like that,
fun.
though. I'm a bit sad gadgety person.
So yeah, and we already had it, so at least I'm not buying loads of stuff, although we bought a grinder, but that's quite useful.
Isn't that the most amazing thing you'd ever buy, though? It's great.
I know. I'm really glad we have. Yeah.
Well, Auntie was 78 this year, and she's quite cool. They live in Rainford near Manchester, and I got one of those little coffee CLO gift sets, which is a bag of coffee, filter papers, and a little filter
cone.
And
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
And thank you.
And
yeah, so she's sort of, evangelised it over in Lancashire. They love it.
Yeah, well, I think at last we've actually got time to make good coffee, haven't we? It's like,
yeah,
instead of needing something rushed, it's like, it's quite fun to take a bit of time over it. So
yeah, enjoy it. I have to say, life is too short for rubbish coffee, isn't it? So it's good to.
Yeah.
And we do take the mick. It is quite interesting to watch the different ways of doing it. I mean, the fact that you could stop the other day was genius.
That's gone viral on TikTok.
Has it?
It's overtaken the Starbucks sign. It's got like 63,000 views or something ridiculous.
But it's, it works, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good fire.
So I still don't know how to work the AeroPress. I'm going to have to use it properly now.
Yeah,
you are. It's in the garden somewhere.
That was amazing.
So funny. Don't do that.
It's fine.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So obviously you're in CLO now.
I know, yeah.
Some bean coffee. And we ordered some last week, but how can people, we're running out of time, so that 10 minutes just got a bit longer.
Yeah.
How can people order to get it delivered at home for free?
Yeah, if you go onto clocoffee.com, so CLOcoffee.com, and go into shop and have a look at the coffees, choose a coffee you like on a little drop-down menu. The usual bag size is 250 grams. There's a kilogram option, but the normal is 250 grams. Yeah. Choose how you want it ground for like a cafetiere or for the cone thing we've been talking about, or just some beans or espresso. Choose all those things and buy it, and it'll come to me on my little phone gadget and tell me who you are and what you'd like, and I'll post it over the road. So,
and it takes.
And I mean,
isn't it?
We're in certainly kind of 4 days a week, even if we only pop in for an hour or so. So we're trying to get things out quite quickly. Royal Mail's a little bit slow, not helping us, but we're trying to bag it up pretty much on the day so that it's on its way to you. So
cool.
Is it
sorry,
free?
Vic.
Is it
free
posted?
Yeah,
which is great.
Which it's no excuse really to buy any rubbish coffee when you can buy it from you.
Yeah.
Also, to be quite honest, getting something through the post, it's better than a Star Wars jigsaw, which is what we've been getting through the post. I'd be much more excited to have a coffee.
It's like, it feels like you've gifted yourself, doesn't it? It's like, oh, it's for me.
You get to unwrap something.
I've loved it. We've had loads of local businesses delivering stuff at the door, which has been brilliant. So to get Janine's candles, she just dropped some little melts. I needed some pots because they'd broken. And I was like, brilliant. The pet store leaving stuff for Winston. I was like, this is great. I haven't got to do it yet. Still just the door, and it just get a bit exciting. It's like, for me.
It's good. you just sort of think, actually, now the world's slowed down a bit. We're all shopping local.
Yeah.
And actually, realize how hearted everyone is and how everyone wants each other to succeed. And it makes you all warm and fuzzy, and you think, this is what it's all about. We love this. We love this.
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
Yeah.
It is nice, and I hope that continues, but I feel that we need to have maybe a little more lockdown time for people to keep at it. I don't think we've been away. I don't think we've been locked down.
Yeah. Really change routines.
Yeah. They go back to normal very quickly. So there's any few
because that's
why you've been off, Linda, thinking about stuff for whenever our normal comes back.
Yeah. Well, we keep debating. Obviously, there are loans on offer and things. We keep debating: do we just go for it and redo everything? But then is that a bit of a risk? And so we're going to do bits and bobs to start with and decide. We thought initially, when it first all happened, we thought we might still have staff here if we were having to try and pay people. But obviously, there's not the manpower at the minute. But maybe when we come back, we'll certainly do some DIY, rejig things a bit. Whether we can go further, I'm not sure. And just, I think, even just for me, working out how to balance things a bit better, because it was almost a relief to start with of not doing so much. So I think someone like Dan taking on the Friday nights, ready for when we restart that, and just trying to share things out a bit more. And it'd be really nice for local business to be used really well again, to stop it being such a rat race against the big names, because it feels such a pressure. And it's always in the back of your mind that you've got to compete, and it'd just be nice for there to be a way where we can exist on what we don't need to make loads of money. That's not what we're trying to do. There's just to be here and to be able to stay here without breaking up lives trying to do every hour. So if local and small business could somehow like rise up out of this, that'd be really nice. Go back to a bit more settled.
One of the things that you and Nick have always been very consistent in saying is that we just need to be a presence. And I think, a consistent presence so people know you're there. And that's hard to do that because staff, ebb and flow, whether they coming and going from the job or whether they're like, can we do this, can we do that? And you think, actually, we just need you to be there and be filled with people who come in. And that takes a long time, and it takes effort, and it takes tenacity, and and those sorts of things. So I think there's a lot of relationship building. It's just being present, isn't it? And now we've been on Main Street 11 years. I think hopefully once we're all back up and running and stuff, then people will still be coming in and know that we're there as a sort of hub, if you want.
I think if people have appreciated local businesses more, haven't they, since the lockdown, where initially they were using them as a last resort and not a thinking first, where now they are changing the way, actually, why would I do that when I've got that option first? So I'm hoping that will, when we're sort of back, and it will be a slow recovery, I think, for many businesses, but it will get there. And I just hope that with all the changes that were just coming in just before lockdown, that will pick up again, and people will be like on a farm, like letting a load of chickens out of the pen, and they'll just head off locally. Fingers crossed. Right, well, I'm going to leave it there because we're running out of time.
Thank you.
Now 40 minutes. I hope people are still interested in what we're going to say. So look after yourselves, people.
Yes, you too.
Keep us all entertained with our uplifting moments at 11 o'clock at CLO at home, not on your own. And keep yourself safe and look after your kids.
You too.
See you soon. Take care. Bye.